The Knights Templar knew a secret that could destroy the church. Have you ever wondered what the Knights Templar were hiding? A secret so dangerous it could shake the foundations of the church and change history forever. In this 45-minute video, we dive deep into the mysteries of the Templars, revealing historical facts, conspiracies, and shocking truths. Get ready for an epic journey. Like, comment, follow, and leave your questions in the comments to keep unraveling history's secrets together. What if I told you that a group of medieval warriors discovered a secret so explosive that the church did everything to destroy them? Yes, I'm talking about the Knights Templar. They were more than just monks with swords. They were guarding something that could bring down the greatest power in the Middle Ages. And that secret, it still haunts history today. Have you ever felt that curiosity you can't explain, that urge to know something that feels forbidden? Then stick with me, because for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to take you on a journey that blends historical facts, mysteries, and conspiracies. And by the end, you'll understand why the Templars were erased from history, and what they knew that no one wanted you to find out. Let's start from the beginning. Who were the Knights Templar? Around the year 1119, a small group of Christian knights gathered in Jerusalem. They took a vow to protect pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land during the Crusades. Sounds noble, right? And it was. But these guys weren't just soldiers. They were warrior monks, living under vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. They called themselves the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon. Long name, I know, but they soon became known as the Templars, because their base was on the Temple Mount, where, according to legend, the ancient Temple of Solomon once stood. Now think about this. These guys started as a small group, with no money, no power. But in less than 50 years, they became the richest and most influential organization in Europe. How did that happen? The answer lies in what they did besides fighting. The Templars invented what we could call the first international bank. Pilgrims could deposit their money with the Templars in one city, get a receipt, and withdraw the same amount somewhere else. This was revolutionary in the Middle Ages. But that wasn't all. Kings, nobles, and even the Pope entrusted their money to the Templars. They built castles, churches, and farms all over Europe. They had ships, armies, and even entire lands under their control. In 200 years, they went from 9 poor knights to a global powerhouse. But here's the first question that keeps nagging at me. How did a group of warrior monks get so powerful so fast? Was it just financial smarts, or did they have something else? Something no one else had? Let's take a step back. Remember when I mentioned the Temple of Solomon? This is where the story starts getting weird. When the Templars settled on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, they weren't just there to pray. There are records that say they dug up the place, like actually excavated, as if they were searching for something. And it wasn't just gold or common jewels. Historians believe they were after sacred relics. And here's the first mystery. What did they find? Some say it was the Holy Grail, the cup used by Jesus at the Last Supper. Others believe it was the Ark of the Covenant, that golden box that, according to the Bible, held the tablets of the 10 Commandments. But there's an even more shocking theory. What if they found documents that told a version of Jesus' story that the church didn't want anyone to know? Think about it. In the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church was the center of everything. It controlled faith, politics, even what people could think. Anything that challenged the official version of the Bible was considered heresy. And heresy? That was a one-way ticket to the stake. So imagine if the Templars found something that contradicted the story the church told. Something that could prove, I don't know, that Jesus had a family, or that he wasn't exactly as the Gospels described. That would be a bombshell. But hold on, let's not jump to conspiracies just yet. Let's stick to the facts. The Templars weren't just rich, they were different. They had secret rituals, only for members of the order. And these rituals? No one outside knew what went on. This fueled rumors. People started whispering, what do these guys do in their meetings? Why so much secrecy? And it wasn't just that. The Templars had a strange relationship with other religions. During the Crusades, they fought against Muslims, but they also negotiated with them. Some say the Templars learned things from Islamic scholars, like mathematics, astronomy, and even spiritual ideas. This was dangerous. Back then, any contact with other religions could be seen as treason. But the Templars didn't seem to care. They acted like they knew something the rest of the world didn't. And here's another curious detail. Did you know what some historians found in Templar castles? Strange symbols. Things that didn't seem Christian. For example, in some churches built by them, there are images of pagan figures, like the Green Man, a symbol of fertility from much older religions. Why would a group of Christian monks put pagan symbols in their churches? Did they believe in something beyond Christianity? Or were these symbols clues to something bigger? Let's move forward in the story, because this is where things get even more intense. By the early 14th century, the Templars were at their peak. They were so powerful that even kings owed them money. But you know what they say, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. In 1307, the King of France, Philip IV, was desperate. He owed a fortune to the Templars and had no way to pay. Plus, he wanted more power, and the Templars were in his way. So, he decided to take them down. On Friday, October 13th, 1307, yes, that's why Friday the 13th is considered unlucky, Philip ordered the arrest of every Templar in France. Thousands of knights were imprisoned, tortured, and accused of outrageous crimes. The charges: heresy, idolatry, and even weirder stuff like worshipping an idol called Baphomet. Some say Baphomet was a demon. Others believe it was a symbol of ancient wisdom, something the Templars learned in the East. But here's the truth. Most of those accusations were lies. The Templars were tortured until they confessed to things they didn't do. And the Pope, who was basically a puppet of King Philip at the time, dissolved the order in 1312. The Templar leader, Jacques de Molay, was burned alive in Paris. Legend has it that as the flames consumed him, he cursed the king and the Pope, saying they'd die within a year. And guess what? They both died under mysterious circumstances before the year was out. Coincidence or something more? But now comes the part that gives me chills. When the Templars were destroyed, what happened to all their treasure and the secrets they were guarding? Their castles were raided, their documents burned, but part of the treasure vanished. Templar ships were seen leaving French ports just before the arrests. Some say they took the treasure to Scotland, where the Templars continued to exist in secret. Others believe the treasure was hidden in places like Rosslyn Chapel, which is full of strange symbols. And the secrets? Well, this is where the story connects to modern legends. Have you ever heard of the Priory of Sion? It's a secret society that, according to some theories, is a continuation of the Templars. They supposedly guard the secret of the Holy Grail. And no, it's not just a cup. In this version, the Grail is a sacred bloodline, descendants of Jesus. I know, it sounds like something out of a movie. But this idea gained traction with books like The Da Vinci Code. And while it's fiction, it's based on real historical documents, like the parchments found in a church in France, which spoke of a sangreal, which can mean royal blood. Did the Templars know about this? Were they protecting a secret bloodline, or was the secret something even bigger, like ancient knowledge the church wanted to hide? Think about this. In the Middle Ages, knowledge was power. And the Templars had access to things the rest of Europe couldn't even dream of. They studied Greek, Arabic, and Hebrew texts. Some say they even knew secrets about alchemy, sacred geometry, and advanced astronomy. For example, did you know that some Templar churches were built with mathematical precision that wouldn't be explained for centuries? They were aligned with stars, as if the Templars knew more about the universe than the church allowed. And here's another thing that gets me thinking. The Templars were destroyed, but their ideas lived on. Many secret societies like the Freemasons have symbols and rituals that resemble those of the Templars. Did they pass the torch? Is the secret still out there, hidden somewhere? Now let's talk about what this secret might have been, because so far we've only speculated. But there are some clues that historians take seriously. One of them is the so-called Gospel of Mary Magdalene. This is an ancient text found in Egypt in the 19th century that's not in the Bible. In it, Mary Magdalene appears as an important disciple of Jesus, someone who knew things the other apostles didn't. The church never accepted this gospel. Why? Because it challenged the idea that only men could lead the faith. What if the Templars found something like this in Jerusalem, a text that empowered women or told a different story about Jesus? Another clue is the Chinon parchment. This is a real document found in the Vatican archives in 2001. It shows that Pope Clement V, before dissolving the Templars, secretly absolved many of them. Why? Did he know the accusations were false? Or was he trying to protect something the Templars knew? And there's more. In some Templar churches, like the one in Tomar, Portugal, there are symbols that look Egyptian or Gnostic. The Gnostics were an early Christian group that believed salvation came from knowledge, not just faith. Were the Templars Gnostics in disguise? These questions drive me crazy because we'll never know the full truth. But one thing is certain, the Templars were more than they seemed. They weren't just warrior monks, they were guardians of something. And that something, it might still be hidden today. Think about this. In 2019, archaeologists found underground tunnels in Acre, a city in the Holy Land controlled by the Templars. These tunnels led to secret chambers. What was inside? No one knows because the excavations were halted. And in Scotland, Rosslyn Chapel remains a mystery. It's filled with carvings that seem to tell a story, but no one has fully deciphered it. Some say the Holy Grail is hidden there, others believe it's a map to another treasure. What I find most fascinating is that the Templars still capture our imagination. After 700 years, we're still talking about them. Why? Because deep down, we all want to believe there's a secret out there. Something that could change everything we know about the world. What if that secret is closer than we think? What if it's hidden in some manuscript, some ancient church, or even in our own history? I don't have all the answers. But one thing I know, the Knights Templar weren't destroyed by chance. They knew something. Something so big that the church kings and even time itself tried to erase it. And now, I want to hear from you. What do you think the Templars were hiding? Was it the Holy Grail, a secret bloodline, or something we can't even imagine? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I read everything and love discussing this stuff with you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like because it really helps the channel grow. And if you're new here, hit that follow button so you don't miss any videos. We're going to keep unraveling history's biggest mysteries together. One more thing, if you have any questions about the Templars, the Grail, or any other mystery, write them in the comments. Who knows? Your question might inspire the next video. Thanks for sticking around till the end. See you next time.